with reasonable assurance that majority of us are familiar with it. If my assumption is wrong, let me know so that I can include SWOT and SOA. SWOT is one of the models that analyze both internal environment and external environment of a business. While SOA is an advanced form or a model developed to take care of the faults or the criticism against SWOT. So if you are not familiar with any or both of them, let me know before we conclude this class today so that you can factor it into the remaining one. And that one as it may be, the last class we discussed Porter's 5 forces, which is one of the major competitive model, particularly in the external environment. We identify the first forces against profitability of a company. And profitability is one of the basic things in financial management. That is what we refer to as the power of retained earnings, which is one of the models to finance an entity. Entity is financed either through debt or through equity. So that is that. So today we will commence by another model which takes care of internal environment as a competitive strategy for any company. It takes the last one is talking about external environment making profit. This one I want to start with now is about how do you make profit. The last one is where can you make profit. So when you see the place, how can you make your profit? You should not forget that in business strategy, which is competitive strategy, you are not the only one in that particular industry. How do you make your own profit? That is the first one we want to check. Bearing in mind that management, either financial management, depending on the capacity of the management themselves to utilize effectively the resources available in that particular entity successively, either financial resources, human resources, any other resources, material resources, ability to use them successively is what we can call good management or effective management. So Porter's chain, value chain, is going to tell us that companies go beyond rational combinations of MMMM. I don't say MMM, MMMM, that is 4 M's. So entity, companies, they go beyond that. That is, it's not only enough to have materials, to have men, to have machinery, and to have money. According to Michael Porter, that one is not enough for entity to make profit. What you need to do as financial manager, a company that want to make it among others, how do you combine these factors together? How do you combine these factors together? That's where you can actually have your money. That's why you can actually have your profit. That's why your consumer will be willing to pay more for what they pay for others. The combination of those things will inform the buyer, the customer, the consumer that they prefer to buy your own, even at higher prices. In some circumstances, product might be shown or come with amount to buy per unit, as other people will be selling beyond that. Why are people buying that above the ruling price and people are not grumbling? Before you move into the model practical, let me give you a particular example now. Even up to now, you have some bottles of soft drinks. They will write the amount either on the cork or on the cover. Let's say 150. They're going to sell it for you on the street at 200, 250, and so on and so forth. Now, Michael Porter identify activities which are functions. You didn't forget, we discussed function, but functional strategy. In an entity into basically 2. We have primary activities, we have secondary activities. The secondary activities are otherwise referred to as support activities. So combination of these activities what creates what people are paying for, and that is value. That is value. So value as it changes, and entity must identify that chain. So when you say value chain, what is the idea behind value chain? Value chain is combination of various activities in an entity and combine it with the entity's competitive strength. Meaning that where you have your strength to compete is what we do together in-house. Subsequent after these models, now we're going to discuss what they call capability. It's one of the basic internal strengths for competition in any entity. Now with this, each of the function we call activities has a role to play in creation of value. What do we mean by value? What people are paying for. What will cost? For instance, variable cost, fixed cost of a particular product is 45 naira, which people can be seen, can be known like that. If on true analysis, then you say you are selling it for 50 naira and people are buying without grumbling. Why are they buying? So the reason they are buying what refers to as value chain. If I may ask, how many of us eat bread? You see anybody that eat bread? Hello?
Hi.
Okay, you use bread. Okay.
Yeah.
How much is the loaf you used to buy?
Before it was 500.
Okay, now it's how much?
Now it's more like 1,000.
1,000. Can you produce that bread, that one loaf by yourself? Is it possible?
Can I do what?
Can you produce it? Can you bake it yourself?
No. I can't.
Assuming you have the knowledge to bake, and that is one. One of the reasons you buy is that you don't know how to bake.
Yes.
Do anybody know how to bake here? Okay, let's assume you know how to bake. If you bake that one, only that one, you can't complete that baking with 1,000 naira.
At all.
You agree with me?
Yes.
So meaning that what they call value in chain can be know-how, how to do it. It might be economy of scale. It might be conveniences. Like that. I came back home one of these or last week. I say I bought 3 cups of granite, 50 naira, 500 naira. I said, our friend told her that in one market like that, one modu is 500 naira now, which has 9 cups inside. Why do I buy 3 cups? Which one is cheaper for me to buy? The one in the market or the one I bought? If I cannot go and buy that 3 cups, cook it again with my transport and the time, I still achieve that 500 naira. So there are many things that people are paying for. That's what it refers to as value. So entity must know, how does it create value? What does it create its own value? Products that are not a particular price, people are selling it more. I used to have an aunt. He used to sell soft drinks in those days. Okay, fear in Oshogo. Some years after, another person came. Wall was dividing their shops. He was selling Coke then 35 naira. The other one selling it 50 naira. And so people will pass in front of our own shop and enter the other one. Instead of buying it of 35, they're going to buy 50. Why? The environment is different. My own aunt is just regular shop. The other shop was designed just like you have regular mama put and the common eatery of nowadays. Mr. Biggs, Tantalizer, which other one is it? Chicken Republic, crunchy like that.
Next rice.
Thank you. So you see all of that. You see what people are selling there, what are eating there is not the taste of the food. Strategists call this ambience. When you go to Mama Poo, you don't want to snap yourself at the entry when you are eating. But when you go to those environments, especially when you go with one Obongiri or Jolo like that, you snap. When you enter, you snap. When you are eating those foods, when you are even coming back, you need to actually take away with the wrapper, so that people will know that you went to somewhere. So what they are selling there is the ambience. The value they created there is the ambience. This one will not shock you anyway. A bottle of Coke now, 50 or 60 is selling for how much?
500 or there.
500.
500 naira. If you go to 3-star hotel, how much are they going to sell it?
2,000.
For like 5-star hotel, Transcorp, Sheraton, Hilton, like how much?
Sir, 10,000, 15,000,
Okay.
20,000.
Do they produce their own, or the same one produced by Nigeria Bottling Company?
No.
Good. So why are they adding money?
The environment.
That's question number one. Thank you very much. Why are people paying without grumbling? The environment. So what they sell is not those products, is the environment. And they make that environment to be like that. So that's what it refers to as value. That is what Michael Paula is trying to actually input in our system as a strategist. To know what make your own sale. At times, the one you buy in front of your office or in the hold up might be chiller, colder than the one you bought there. A question was asked by a guy, Transcorp in the Abuja one day. He said, "This guy, you are very crazy, very stupid." That time, a night was about 140. I'm talking about 2007, thereabout. He said, when you pay for 1 week here, you can pay a rent of 1 year in the same Maitama. So why are you wasting your money? He said, now your head no correct. He said, how much you go to pay for 1 year in this hotel? 5 minutes in the elevator can pay them. How do you mean? He said, this presidential suite, your friends call it in, they have their own elevator separately. They have their own reception separately. You just need to take you to late a lot to meet Obasanjo, that Obasanjo regime. Obasanjo or Dangote in the lift. They are not better than her as human being. They say, oh, good afternoon, I do this one. Oh, where's your card? Your card. Shikena. That 5 minutes you exchange together, or even 2 minutes in that elevator or escalator, he has paid millions of naira for you. So that is what they are looking for there. So unlike that, like that. So as a result of this, Michael Paula divide all the activities into 2 groups, primary and support. Primary activities are those ones that are linked directly to the production of your goods and services. They are linked directly to production of those goods or services. You see, we have 5 of them: inbound logistics, operations, outbound logistics, marketing and sales, then after sales service. 5 of them. This one connected to what you are producing, either as a service provider or as a trader or as a manufacturer. You need these 5. However, the support service make them more efficient, and they are linked to each of these. If you check the diagram you have there, you see that the primary activities are divided in column vertically, but the support activities are lying horizontal of them, so that each of them have a touch of those support activities. And those support activities are just 4. Procurement, research and development, you can otherwise call as technology development. You have human resource management, and you have infrastructure. Infrastructure include IT, it include finance. You include finance, you include audit. That refers to as infrastructure. Now, this one might not be seen as major, but they're very major. Not seen as major as primary activity because inbound logistics deal with how do you move in your raw materials? How do you move in your wares? How do you move in your logistics? For somebody who is producing bread, is baking bread, for instance, now, how do you get your flour? How do you get your sugar? How do you get your butter? How do you move them? How do you do it? Do you buy in bulk and store? You may have a store, you have a warehouse. Then do you have somebody in charge of that? Or you only collect when you want to produce? You don't need to actually say so. Just in time, Japanese structure. So how do you do it? That's the logistics. Then operation means the real conversion. Mixing of the flour, put them in the oven, then bring them. So that is operation. Then when you move them to how to sell them, put a typical wrapper, put them in box or keep them somewhere like that. That is the outbound logistics. Then before people that go to sell it, those are the marketing and sales. Each of them are very important. Without selling, your production has not ended. and you don't even perform any function. Because they say production has not ended until it reaches the hand of final consumer. But if you didn't produce well, how you go to have a good sale? You only take sugar-coated mouth seller to sell once to you. You have to take, why do I buy this thing now? Next time you're not going to buy. So that is where each of these are very connected to your production. However, to be production to be effective, we need those other activities. You should not forget activities that are those functions. You remember that in our functional strategy, IT is a function, finance is a function, production is a function. So that's why they are connected. You say activities. Now, when you have this, we go back to what we call creation of value now. Which of them can you, as a financial manager, can you as company A, can you as company Y, and can you as company T use to gain your own value? You don't need to copy, even when you are in the same industry. You don't need to copy any other company. Which one is better for you? Okay, you know what you do in your entity. So let's bring this particular example now. Some of us use iPhone. Some of us use low phone. Go. iPhone 2, iPhone 4, iPhone 7, iPhone 9, like that. Some of us use Techno. Some of us use Samsung. Some of us use itel. The question is, how many places do you have call center for iPhone in Nigeria? Anybody know how many places? When they take a call, you just go and do it, they will repair for you free of charge and take your thing back.
None.
I did not know any too. But what about Techno? Techno, itel. I know very many, I've visited very many, I've used very many of them before. This is what happens. Each of them, they have in their sales in the word of today, true of us. They have their own, they are having their own market, they are having their own profit. Now they gain different value system. iPhone, for instance, invested in technology, meaning that its own area of value is in the secondary. Why? It made the product to come out very strong and durable. So you don't need to be looking for where to get offices for after sales, because those call centers, they are after sales service. But Techno does not have the same money to invest. He said, no, I don't get that headache. Let me prove this. When I sell, if you have problem, I know you're going to have problem. I'm going to create offices for them to bring it to repair. So both of them have different target audience and they're making their money, especially in Nigeria. We know that. That is that. So that's a typical example. Another one is that entity might need, say, let me invest in human resources. Train your staff. When you train your staff very well, you have less to spend on operation. Why? They are already skilled. So when you are skilled, you will not waste time. Learning curve theory has entered. There are not going to be a lot of wastage. So that you don't need to incur more cost on cost of productions. And they are going to be smarter. They use shorter time. They're not going to pay for overtime. So it's like, look, entity should look for what create value for it, not copying somebody else. To look for what as in particular, so which of these, the primary activities or secondary activities, which one can you leverage on better to create your own value? That is what we refer to as value chain. So each entity should know, okay, my own value is lying in a particular, it might even be primary activities. So many of you, or even including myself, will have bought some things and you ask yourself, why do you buy it? That is effective marketing and sales. Some products are on that. And you cannot even go back and say, what I bought from you yesterday, do you see them? They are on the street. Street hawkers. But they will sell anything for you are going to buy because they are going to talk about it. I used to tell people that 3 years ago, I bought some things like alternative medicine. Up to today, I've not even opened it. That is power of tongue. So each of the entity will know what create value for me. So they can choose from the primary activities or from the secondary activities. As a result of that, they are going to make what and what is their own value. However, each entity must know what create value, because if you abandon what create value for you, you're going to find your product off the counter in every market. And we have I don't want to mention name of companies that have lost even when they're having some strength among their mates, because they did not identify what are people looking for in them. They are doing copy, and copycat can kill. Anyway, because you want to go far beyond this, let's leave value chain and go to the next model. And I think the next model should be basic life cycle, or what we call product life cycle. Basic life cycle or product life cycle. Is there anyone among us who has not heard about this before I can? Anyone who have not heard of product life cycle before I can? Is there anybody? Okay. Oh yeah, I'm listening. Somebody is raising hand. Okay, good. Now, product cycle is one of the oldest model. At that time, we call it product life cycle. Now, we either call it product life cycle or basic life cycle. Why do we refer to it now as basic life cycle? Because life cycle go beyond what we ordinarily see now. However, the age, as we have it among other models now, is just at the age of Methuselah. You know Methuselah? They say the age of Methuselah has something to do with the wisdom of Solomon. He has some inherent problem that, especially with the diagram, strategy is really using them for some particular purposes. But when you rested on the diagram, you may not be able to achieve a strategic end with them. If you check the diagram we have, we know that products have 4 faces. How many faces? 4 faces now, at least on the diagram. Now, what it purports to describe is to know each phase of the product life cycle, what inflows come as sales, what are the challenges of each of the products. So we have introductory stage, we have growth stage, we have maturity stage, and we have decline stage. I said we have introductory stage, we have growth stage, we have maturity stage or phase, and we have decline phase or stage. You can call it any of them. Now with this, the question is, when birthday of somebody is celebrated, either at 1, at 10, at 15, at 20, where do the counting started? At birth, did they give birth to him or her? Another question is that when life is in that particular person? No. Life has been when he was inside the belly of the mother or in the bottle, as the case might be. So meaning that even the product has spent some time, have its own gestation period too, which we call nowadays by special strategies as developmental stage. So this one is not showing on the product life cycle. Anyway, because there's no inflow that particular time. Because product life cycle want to show what is the sales value, what is sales volume, and what is the challenges at each stage. Now, coming to the inherent problem. Number one, if you check, there is no guarantee that any or all products are going to go through those particular stages. All products are going to go through introductory, growth, maturity decline. There's no assurance. Okay. BlackBerry, did it mature? Did BlackBerry mature? Don't let me go beyond. I don't want to mention any product. And you see that some companies have been for years. They have not declined. Maybe on maturity, they have not declined. Okay, if you know, let's start from the one that close to us. Like UAC, you have Gala, you have this water, Swan, like that. That is about almost going to 100 years now. First Bank, past 100 years. Guinness, about 260 years. I have another product equal like that. He has spent more than 300 years. He has not declined. Created in 1750. They started operation in 1750, and they are still operating to now, today. Some other products like that, they have not declined. What we are saying is that it's not a mandation, it's not mandatory, it's not compulsory, and it's not assurance that a product will follow these stages. That's number one. Number two, even when those that follow at least to maturity or decline, the stages have different volume of time. The time they are going to spend on each of the phase is going to be different tremendously. Meaning that you don't have a logical assurance in a particular strategy, you can't use it for planning. So for instance now, some product they will crawl before you identify. We mentioned the other time that before Toyota gained acceptance in the Nigerian market, it took a long time. Before Maggi gained acceptance in the northern state of Nigeria, it took a long time. You see the same thing with MTN and Econet. Immediately they came to Nigerian market, they grow like that. And up to now, they have not declined. I used to mention that somebody told me that projection of MTN particularly in Nigeria for 10 years, it was achieved before the end of the third year. The productivity and the sales and the profitability. The person was even mentioning that he said that's the reason their world MD relocated from South Africa to Nigeria. See, you never see growth of this level before in his life. So meaning that it's not all people that have that particular length of time to grow. Even if you check the program, the diagram we have three with you. You will see that the diagram, the curve, they don't follow the same is it going to call this one adjacent or tangent? It's not the same way they go up, they stay and they come back, they come down. So some of them they climb gently, the other one actually climb fast, the other one actually stay very long at maturity. So to show that even those that follow, you cannot recommend like it must be 3 years for introductory. It must be 4 years for growth, 10 years for maturity. So if you cannot do that, there's no strategic planning. Then the last one we are going to discuss before we move on is that the diagram does not show the beginning of an irrecoverable decline. It does not differentiate another one between temporary dip in sales and decline. Temporary dip means temporary fall in sales and decline. It does not differentiate. I don't know any of us have seen a diagram of product life cycle that come down in decline and go up again. I don't know whether anyone has seen. I've never seen my life checking many dictionary, many literature. It's not there. No strategist have described to that particular extent. Meaning that none of them indicate a rising from a temporary or permanent death. For instance, in the 80s, when Toyota came, Chevrolet came, Hyundai came to Nigeria. By 90s, 2000, they went off. Now, some of them are rising back now, especially Hyundai, followed by Kia. Meaning that when you have a dip in sales, may be temporary. The reason being that you can actually have some change, a facelift, small additional design, and the market will accept it. The same thing with Pojo. Pojo market too went down in Nigeria before they have one younger manager across the globe. I say, oh boy, the time of play has gone. He realized that people are not vexing on strength again. The common acceptance in the world of today is luxury, not strength again. And that is what the other phone that was so popular that time did not even realize. People buy iPhone now, they will buy power bank, join them. The battery is not lasting, it's not their headache. Put let that wrong like a ring to of iPhone, shikena. So that is that. So these are the part of the major problem that is attributable to the diagram of product life cycle. Then let's actually study the stage, because what is trying to purport, what is the zeal of volume, what are the challenges at each of the stages? The first stage we have here as basic life cycle without the developmental period is introductory. In introductory, generally we will know, and we already realized that the sales volume is always low. At introductory, the sales volume is always very low. What are the challenges there? What are the challenges? What is the basic challenge at that level? The challenge here is the fear of acceptance. Is the fear of acceptance. Nobody sure that a particular product is going to be accepted in the market, no matter who produces it, no matter the strength of production. Coca-Cola remain the best, the highest brand in the world of today. They've introduced product in Nigeria, me and you know, it collapsed. Some of them declared they are rising up. Some of them didn't hear about them again. It took them up to last year before we hear about Schweppes again. Why? They started making different brand. They changed the container, slim. Then they have different form, Zobo form, Apple form, like that. So it goes in those levels. That is introductory stage. It's not sure whether the product is going to be accepted or not. That is the basic challenge. It is clear that the volume of sales will be very, very low. Now, if the emphasis to promote it now gain ground, they say it's now growing. At growth, the sales volume will increase tremendously, but the challenge will change. Meaning that the first challenge of acceptance has been overcome. Who can suggest the next challenge here? After you overcome the challenge of acceptance, because people are already buying it, meaning that it has accepted in the market. People are already buying Toyota. Toyota is already the highest number of cars in Nigeria of today. So what challenge will any product get at growth level? No idea. One, competition.
Increasing cost of capital to produce more.
To produce more, then competition will grow. You should not forget butterfly forces. There are some people that are actually staying, potential entrants. When you gain the acceptance of the market, whoa, they are joining you. As you are struggling, that your capacity is increasing, you want to get working capital to increase it, you want to get more money to buy more machinery, you have to compete, advertise very seriously. You need to do a lot of promotion so that you can still maintain the market. No matter how the quality is good, when you have competitors in the market, they are going to cut part of the sales. They are going to cut part of the sales. Indomie still lead in the noodle industry. Can it stop marketing? Nah. Because others are coming to, there are very many. No matter what, say this one is poor. If somebody buys me, they're not buying your own. Let's say they're even poor. When they buy that one that's poor, they will not go to buy your own. So they will have bought your own, that one is not available. Coca-Cola still advertise and promote up to now, if possible, to fight others. Because no matter how poor they are, how water you want to call it, how tasteless you want to call it, people are buying them. And when they buy, they are not buying the other one. So at that stage, the major challenge is competition. You need capital. You need money to do promotion. You need money to do advertisement. You need money to produce more. Notwithstanding, the volume of the sales are rising. Then the next stage, they call it maturity stage. At maturity stage, there will be a lot of sales volume. Money is coming. You're already established. You've gained your capacity, 80% capacity or even 100% capacity. You're already there in the market, established. Meaning that you are at par or overcome the challenge of competition. Another challenge will come. What challenge is that? Anybody? 10 marks. It's one of the things we mentioned the other class. There will be price pressure from the buyers. There will be price pressure from the buyers because they are already maturing that there are many sellers of that product in the market and they've competed for long. All of them as exposed, exhibit their capability and ability. So mean that buyers already know where each of them are good. From the telecommunication now, if I ask, I don't need to ask any, I'll just mention them. We will know which of the network is best in internet data. Which of them have the best coverage? Which of them is the cheapest? So if one is that, but this one, different one go and buy this one, Jerry. If somebody you know when their data is active. So meaning that if they cannot do Yanga, the producer sellers cannot do Yanga that particular period because buyers are already know. So you say if you don't take, I will go and buy another one. I will go to this other one. If you have not mixed it, say, okay, come. Notwithstanding the sales volume have go up, the challenge have changed from what we know as competition to pressure from buyer. Now you are at the mercy of the buyers now. Because there are many sellers of that market. You should not forget what we talk under buyer's pressure and suppliers pressure under total price forces. The same market portal. So, and we have the last stage now, which is decline stage. Decline stage. At decline stage, ironically, there are more sales too. And if the profitability is might be higher than that of growth and maturity. At decline stage, all competitors are tired. That's why you see that the sales volume is coming down. The aggressiveness is not there. The consumer are tired, already satisfied with the taste. There's something we call law of diminishing return or maximum utility. Some of us that did economics in our secondary school or undergraduate. Law of diminishing return on marginal utility. So they already reached their peak. Now, the need here, the challenge here. Challenge number one. A decline, is this one a temporary dip in sale or the beginning of decline? If that question is answered as decline, okay, what I'm going to do now, another challenge. A decline, what will I do? As to withdraw from the market, as to sell it off, or as to remain there, or I should do a little lift up, a little rebranding to make it go up again. Which one is better? We cannot mention. Each entity would know which one is better at that particular time. Unfortunately, the diagram does not describe that because there's none come down and go up again. So major challenges is which one, because it's possible to do any of them and be profitable. You can sell the product off and you even have gain. You can do a little rebrand. We just mentioned about sweeps now. People are now buying because they have different names for it. Another came back to Nigeria with a very better design and it's making it, and a very cooling system. Better body design, high cooling system. And it's making it so a rebrand can be another choice. Or I don't want to do anything. I'll just stay like this. I'll not go to off the market. It's another strategy. Now you become the monopoly in a decline market. Because other have left. Other have changed their nature. Me, I'm not going to change you. When we are growing, very soon at that time, when you have headache, body pain, malaria, you have alabuku, Fensic, Panadol, Cafenol. Since the last decades or more, I did not see Fensic and Cafenol again. But alabuku still there, Panadol still there. Panadol have rebranded better than what it is. Alabuku does not change. I don't know whether of us know alabuku. It did not change. So if you have that particular strategy, you're going to go to alabuku. You know, one man from Ogun State made alabuku that time. You see that powder in the sachet They didn't make it as tablet. They didn't make it the capsule or anything. No, it's that in that particular thing. So that is the type of example of being a monopoly in the decline market. So what will you do at a particular time? That is what we need at the stage of decline, and that is the basic challenge. You don't know what to do. I cannot even know, is it a temporary dip or is still a decline? So those are the part of the challenge at each of the stage or phases of the growth in product life cycle. We call it basic life cycles. If you have these four, the best to call it basic life cycles. But you actually have five will be a product life cycle. Notwithstanding, this one can be called as product life cycle. Then in gestation, development stage, this typically the challenge is success of the recipe. If it's a product or a service, are we going to get it well before it even come out at all? There are many times me and in the cloth, are you going to spend? You don't even know. When are going to come? Hey, fear of coming to market when there's no money coming in from anywhere. Even at introduction, some small things money are coming in, but at developmental stage, nothing is coming in from sales. So that is the summary of product life cycle. Summary of product life cycle. Each of these one they have their disadvantage anyway. We can actually take it like that. The third one, okay, don't mind my speed. I just want us to cover as much as possible. Is BCG, Boston Consulting Group. How many of us know about that particular entity, that group? It's still an existing group up to today, just like you have Deloitte. As you like have Philip Consulting. At least we are no Philip Consulting. Some of us know Philip Consulting in those years. How many of us said about BCG before? Boston Consulting Group, not the matrix now. The group, the company itself. Okay. Somebody erasing. Okay. BCG, Boston Consulting Group, is originated from a country. It's a state they call America. Right? Boston is one of the largest, not the largest consulting group in the world of today. They are happy now. They are existing in about 150 countries. Thereabout. They exist and they consult for about 60% of the biggest company in the world of today. At least you know that they have some capacity. Notwithstanding, the matrix, good to say, that does not have 100% purity. There's still some fault, but at least it's one of the best, if not the best, models for any entity or company that have more than one product or more than one product line or more than one service line. If you have more than one thing, the best one to use is Boston Consulting Group matrix. At times they call it portfolio analysis matrix. At times they call it product growth share matrix. Product growth share matrix. Whichever name you come about, they say telling you about BCG. About BCG. So BCG is basically for portfolio management. We try to purport the groups of product entity should have for sustainability. Some of these companies made that they have been on hold and they didn't come down. You hardly see them having only one product. Some of the products, they make name for the entity. Some of the products, they bring money for the entity. Some of the products, they want to grow them for future. That's why you see many of them, they increase in the production of many outputs, whether as a service or as a basic goods. Now, the status is BCG for us. BCG in the matrix, the analysis go with two basic factors, which we have one on the vertical axis, we have one on the horizontal axis. Horizontal axis have relative market share, while the y-axis have growth rate. Either they call it market growth rate or industrial growth rate. Any of them serve. The combination of this, whether high growth rate or low growth, we are still using our high and low, give combination of 4 groups of products. We have question mark, we have star, we have cash cow, and you have dog. Strategically, in some literature, they use diagram only. In some literature, they will write them. In some literature, they will draw zeros. Like in our Emily Wolf, what was there was 0. Or however, there are some errors in location of those zeros. But with our own combination of arithmetic, you go to know what goes for what. Now we started the analysis, now we know. So relative growth rate can be high, can be low. Market share too can be high and it can be low. So if you know that one now, so we are going to get it right in BCG matrix, just like we have it under Mandela's matrix too. So we can have high market share and high growth rate. You can have low market share and low growth rate. You can have low growth rate and high market share, like that. So combination of those one now will give us 4 groups. So let's do our arithmetic as usual. Then we can come back to do the explanation. And probably if we have the time, you can see test that calculation that is attached to it. You can test the calculation that is attached to it. Number 1, let's say a product with low growth rate and high market share, low growth rate and high market share, that product is referred to as cash cow. Low growth rate but high market share, that product is referred to as cash cow. Then when you have high growth rate plus high market share, high growth rate plus high market share, that product is known as star. Then when you have low growth rate or be a high growth rate but low market share, high growth rate but low market share is seen as question mark or problem child. In some we call it problem children. Problem child or problem children, or they call it question mark. So where you have low growth rate and low market share, those products are referred to as dog. They are referred to as dog. So like as I mentioned the other time. Okay, that arithmetic.
The question mark.
Okay, the question mark is when there is high growth rate but low market share. They call it question mark or problem child. In some literature, they call it problem children. So you can carry any of those one. You have question mark or problem child. When you have high growth rate but low market share, it's referred to as question mark or problem child. Now, if you check below, as I mentioned now, you can use this formula to check. So if it is, whenever you have high, the cycle should be bigger. You can check so that you won't have a problem when you are referring to other literatures. Where do you say when you have star, you're supposed to have two big cycles there, meaning that the cycle for growth rate is big, that is high. The cycle for market share should be, which is high too. But for a dog, both cycle must be small. Then you can arrange the other ones like one small, one big, one small, one big. So that's why we give us an hedge for others that do not actually have the formula, so that they won't be confused when you are treating them. Now, before you go, come back for the explanation of each of the quadrants. These groups, they have typical resemblance to what we have in the nature. They have typical resemblance for what we have in the nature. problem child, they have positive side and equally have negative side. You don't know what to do on them, problem child. Star shines. Everybody like it, everybody describe you as good. But as the good, that's why they have problem. And we know that star will not last even for 24 hours on the sky. And in human too, you have stars like celebrities. You will see they are collecting big monies and they are still on. One of them some years back say they want to chase him in his house in Ikoyi. He has not paid rent. With all those money you are collecting, and the money comes in, he go out back. In those money, makeup have his own, Babalawo have his own, pastor have his own, Afa has his own, Agbedo have his own, Omata have his own. And the money comes in, he go out. But cow is the best of them, at least in financing. Is the master hub for money. That's what they refer to as cash cow. Putting cow here is not a mistake. May and you know that there's nothing in cow that is wasted. All of them are money. Predominantly, there's nothing in cow that does not make money, that is wasted. Tell me anything that is wasted in cow. Anything. Anything. The droppings, fertilizer. The blood, raw materials for feed industry. I even am aware that some people used to pay down in turn before they give them blood. Is it bone in ceramics industry? Is it the horn? Is it the skin, leather in shoe and belt industry, and so on and so forth? So meaning that everything that comes, this particular part of product, they have the resemblance to what we have in the nature. And the dog, except for your dog anyway, the level of craziness, you don't attach a very good value to dog, especially this part of the world. If for the hunting dog, what a dog will kill animal, he will not give it to eat except the bone. Some other one like that. Let's pause here. In the next 15 minutes, we come back. Then we discuss each of the product and their characteristics and the net cash flow at each point in time. Problem child. Why is it problem child? What is the net cash flow? Star. Why is it star? What is the net cash flow? Cash cow. Why is it cash cow? What is the net cash flow? Dog. Why is it dog? What is the net cash flow? And finally, which one, combination of which one should we actually have? That what refers to as the portfolio management aspect of BCG. So by 7:10 thereabouts, we are going to come back to discuss that. If they have more time, then Ibrahim, do you show that example, that calculation to the group?
No, sir.
Probably
No,
we
sir.
can. Okay. So when you come back, if you have time, then you throw it.
Okay, sir.
So
Okay, sir.
by that we can actually discuss it like that. Thank you. Next
Right,
15 minutes I will do. You're welcome.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Good evening, everyone, once again. So we'll be on break for, I think, for about 15 minutes. We'll be back at 7:15, 7:10. So we are on break for now. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.
Mhm.
Welcome back, sir.
Thank you very much, bros.
Yes, sir.
Okay, welcome everybody back. We left with the beginning of BCG, and we're able to identify that we have 4 groups of products with the combination of growth rate and market share. Growth rate and market share. By so doing, we identify there are a set of products called problem child or question mark. Some are referred to as star, some are referred to as cash cow, and some are referred to as dog. So let's start with question mark. Set of products that they call question mark, meaning that they have relative growth rate high, the market share is low. The interpretation of this is that there is possibility of acceptance of this particular product in the market, but the future is not there because there's nothing to bring in money.
I think his network, right? He's actually having a network glitch, so he will join us shortly. Thank you. Good evening, everyone, once again, and welcome to another edition of our lecture on strategic financial management. And we should not equally forget that strategic financial management is now actually divided into 2, where we have the CSME part of it, as well as the Yes, CSME and the other calculation part of it, right? So my guy will be taking that part of CSME, right? Okay, so my Oga will be joining. Okay, no problem. Okay, my Oga will be taking that part, Mr. Ibrahim Ajibola. So I will be taking the other part of strategic financial management, which is about 70% of the syllabus, right? So it is what it is, right? It is what it is. So Oga is actually back. Mr. Ibrahim, are you there? Mr. Ibrahim. Okay, I think he's having network glitch, right? And so while we are waiting for Mr. Ibrahim, okay, do we have anyone? Do we have anyone that have question for me? If you have questions for me while we are waiting for Mr. Ibrahim, you can unmute your mic and ask your question. Okay, no question, right? Okay.
Hello. Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Hello, are we there?
Yes, sir. I can hear you, sir.
Okay, it's better now. Okay, sorry for the interruption. I
Okay,
just
no
changed. I
problem.
just changed to the other network now. Okay. I think I remember we started by identifying the groups of products from problem child or question mark star, cat cow, and dog. And we started by describing which one is question mark or why is it a problem child. We say it's a question mark. Characteristic of question mark is that there is high growth rate but relatively low market share. And we identified the problem with that. With low market share, there's no inflow and there's no popularity in the market. Majority of customer, they want to see which product are popular. Myself and yourself, if somebody just bought product now, like chemist, I just see few things inside. I just want they sell expired drug. Even though they actually loaded the place, even though they have been there for donkey of years, we would like to go and patronize. So there is problem that the big identifier one, they can compress that product and chase it out of market completely. But because the growth rate is high, we might have hope that in the future, this product will gain acceptance in the market. Now, this is where the question comes from. Number one, are we going to spend more on this product to get acceptance in the market vis-a-vis promotion, advertisement, or investment in share, I be in sales like that, sales price, so that I can be selling in the beginning at a price lower than the cost of production self, so that you can get acceptance in the market. Question number one. If question number one is answered, question number two is that where are you going to see the money? Because this one is not bringing money. Where are we going to see money to do the promotion, advertisements, and investment in price? That is the questions. Now, why is it referred to as problem child on the other hand? The problem child, when you have a product that have the pros and cons at the same time, a child will be problematic. If it has positive traits and equivalent negative traits. I used to set a particular example in a regular class that a woman that just got married have more responsibility. Is she's working, there's husband to cook for, there's pregnancy. Now she called Mama in the village. Mama, send Chinedu to me. Just don't mind the name. We just understand. It can be Kolapok. It can be Audu. Send Chinedu to me. We enroll him in school. And luckily when he came, we enrolled him in public school. Truly. Public school is very good in the environment. Then you enroll me. When he started, let him start today now. Then he started. Before 1 o'clock, you left your number, they call you. Waiting up, you say, come, police station. Police station, okay. They say, Chinedu, he stone somebody for head and the stone enter. Rescue that one, you go. The second day, one teacher follow him come home with cane. What happened now? He say he threw stone and broke the glass of headmaster windscreen. It's gone like so. The third is boy. The second we say, boy, don't worry. Maybe yeah, don't hand. This one I third time now. Maybe I go do you back to the village. Let's go to happen. Then say okay before you go, they go do end of the year party and prize giving. Best in mathematics, Chinedu. Best in English, Chinedu. Best in Greek, Chinedu. What am I going to do? I'll send him back to the village. I will retain and maintain the problem. I'll take to church for deliverance. Like that. So the child become a problem because you cannot decide what and what to do for it. The same thing with this product. So those two names is attached to them. So at the beginning, there's no money, but you must spend money just for the product to gain acceptance in the market. Just like in the product life cycle at the introductory stage. Now, if this high growth rate is maintained and expenditure on promotion, advertisement yield result, then that product with high growth rate now have high market share. It will change that quadrant. The one we have now at top left, it will move to top right. Because with high growth rate, there is now high market share. It becomes a star product. It becomes a star product, meaning that now it is accepted in the market, it's making a lot of money. Money is coming in very well, but the net cash flow is roughly or relatively zero. So where is all the money that the pin is going? Money that's bringing in, where are they going? Why are they relatively zero and not very, very positive? How? Why? The answer is the stars mentioned at that time. Stars have problem. When you gain acceptance in the market, you have relatively big shares now. Do not forget, competitor will come in to come and cut the price, the market from you. For you to maintain that position in the market, you advertise more. You do more publicity. You do more promotion. And like that, and like that. Buy 2, get 1. Buy 10, get 1. Buy 12, get 1. Just like this, I used to do that. Those were the regular period. Now you buy 12 Toyota, you have 1 as free. When BMW 2 came, if you buy, no BMW, no, BM series 1, series 2, series 4 to series 6. When you buy series 5 or series 6, you get series 1 as a free. That's you series 1 that time. You got buy series 5 or series 6, they will dash you series 1 and series 2 like that. So meaning that to maintain the acceptance in the market, to maintain the popularity in the market, they will continue to advertise, do a lot of promotion. Just like the typical example we made before we stop temporarily the other time. A typical star have money and they spend money like that. I just made mention of the celebrities. They used to collect big money and they said the rent as well, doesn't have money to pay house rent. Why? Those money that they collected from advertisements, from movies, from this one, from signposts, they post them. Cosmetics will take, Babala will take, pastor will take, Omata will take. The money goes on like that. The same thing with Star Product. Notwithstanding, Star Product make the noise for the company, it make the company popular. But the net cash flow is roughly 0. But there's need for it to make that particular entity very popular, very known. In our industry, the star of the industry is audit. Audit bring, I think, the least net cash flow, but they have the highest number of liability. But the popular thing that somebody says now is an auditor. I hate making it. The other thing that you do that bring more money with less liability. Other consulting job, task consulting, review engagement, other engagement, they were there. Compilation, they were there. So that is, see, I don't want to be mentioning particular so that it won't be advertising for them. You have a particular company in Nigeria, which is international too. He has a particular product, black. It is the most popular among the world and among their product too. If you check the next cash flow, is the least. You got to spend more on that one, but you can't drop it. Drop that one. The riskiest part of a bank or finance company is the facility. But without facility, there's no bank. You have anybody that does not give loan, even though I want some bank microfinance they are surviving on. It is risky. That's why in AMCO they call it toxic asset. Toxic assets. Assets that are toxic. So that is the nature of Star Product. They bring money, but at the same time they consume money. That's why I say the net cash flow is roughly 0. Money comes in and it goes. Now, as we said, that star will not continue to be there in the sky like that. One day it will fall. Every night it will fall. At times or months, we will not see stars at all again. And all these celebrities, they will fall beyond the level we are seeing them. If I may ask, who remember Agbani Darego? Agbani Darego. Unless you go to Transcorp in Abuja, you see a palm tree that they plant and brand his name, that they plant that time. That is the most beautiful lady in the world. If you see her now, if you don't make up, you know that should look correct. So the same with Star Products, they're not going to be there forever as star. The product might still be existing, but they will not have that same growth rate. The growth rate will drop. Even though they may still maintain the relative market share. Just like many of us, maybe either we watch or we participate in what they call marathon race. Marathon race. At the beginning, everybody, you see plenty of people. First round, second round, some people, without advising them, will be dropping by the side. Third, fourth. At the fourth now, competitor have dropped in the main people that participate in the market. Then at the 6, 7, 1, what you see in them is survivor. The speed will not be there again. It's just throwing that leg. Even the last, you just see their head forward. Even longer by length than the leg. So the same thing as this particular one. So the growth rate will be dropping at times to zero, at times to negative. Maybe we're going to see something like that now in the calculation aspect. If we have the time to do it next class, it can drop to negative, meaning that the capacity of sales is not the same time that is going up. Like for instance, now in the beginning, 20 tons today, by the next month, 30 tons, by the next month, 40, 50. So at a particular time, instead of going to 60, go to 55. It grows back, you go to 55. Okay, 60. Instead of 65, now 63. Okay, 65, 67, 68, 69. I thought it would be 70 and 70, 70, 70, meaning that it has become, the growth rate has become zero. 70, 69, 64, 69, 64, 63, 60, 60, 60, like that. So it's coming to negative. So when stars are tired, they are still going to maintain some level of known in the world, in the global market, in the current market, in the trading market, but the growth rate is no more growing. It's either reduced at zero or at negative. At that time, fortunately, the net cash flow is always positive. Relatively, it's always positive because the market share is still there. Why is it always positive? Just the example of marathon race I mentioned now, no competition again. People have withdrawn from the market, people that cannot go again. So you have less to spend or nothing to spend on advertisement. You don't need to spend on advertisement, no promotion, or they already know in the market. People that are the one that are remember when the beginning of calculation in Nigeria, if I mention some name of phone, handset, now you may not remember again. So iPhone, Alcatel, remember Alcatel? Open and close like this, something like that. So people that are me, I go to remain, so you can actually continue that. So the money you use for depreciation, you have depleted all your assets finished. You are still using the assets. Myself, I say, know that some assets will carry 10 naira in the asset schedule, meaning that they've depleted those assets finished, but they are still functional. That's why they are not used to post them. You still maintain 10. So those one now, they are not part of your running expenses again. The amount you spend on research and development at the initial stage, when it become before it become a question mark at the fundamental stage, you've amortized them finished. You are not spending on that one again. Then because people have retired from the market, no advertisement, no promotion. So all the money that comes in for you, they are your money. I used to make an example of Gala. In those the USC, one of the USC products. Even USC, they see Gala as their cash cow. One of the reasons is that Gala has been there for long. It was one of the classes. Somebody told me that she ate Gala when she was in primary school in Lagos. That woman at that particular year will be around 50. One of my classes then, I think it was 2014 thereabout. She's about 50, and she says she ate Gala when she was in primary school in Lagos. So meaning that you cannot say that in research and development, they are still amortizing up to today. Those assets, they are still depreciation on them, nothing. And you see Gala, they don't need to put Gala in warehouse, so they don't need to advertise. People are already waiting for them to collect and sell.
Don't mind you. I got to go far.
Ozigini. Mute your mic. Hey, mute your mic, Dalla. No, Guinea. Okay. So, meaning that they are not spending on advertisement, they are not spending on depreciation, they are not spending on amortization, they are not even spending on warehouses. They don't even to collect marketers. Boys are there to collect, as they just produce, now they put them in those vans, to the streets. Boys will collect, they will sell and give the money back. They have gone. So that is the function, that is the characteristic of every cash cow. They might be, many of them are old products. And you can check all around. Is there any sausage roll packaged like that are still competing with Gallopti today? Many of them that come, they have got, some of them are still struggling because they will have to cater for interest on the money they borrow. They need to cater for depreciation, they need to cater for amortization, they need to cater for advertisement, which Gala did not need. That's why Gala become a cash cow for UAC, for instance. Other companies, they have their own like that. You don't need to spend more on them again. Then money is coming, they're making their sales. So that's why I mentioned the other time that even cow on its own, everything about cow is money. Everything about cow is money. The skin is money. The horn is money. The meat is money. The fat is money. The hide, the hair, the hide is money. The skin is money. The droppings is money. The blood is money. Which part of the cow? That's what I refer to. Usually use cash cow. However, in some literature, instead of putting cow or writing cash cow, they will write a part concerning money. Some of the time they put dollar. I used to put naira anyway because I'm in Nigeria. So to show that in this particular circumstances, this product bring money, and the net cash flow is always positive year for year. You always have extra that you don't need to spend on those things. What you spend only more than is raw material. Even the guys that are producing operators, they are already experts. They can be sleeping and produce those things because the capacity have overturned, and they can see that as if they are looking at something in their palm. So that is the cash cow for us. Now the last one here, dog. If you remember that question mark, problem check can grow to be star. Star can fall to be cash cow. Dog is not growing to question mark, is not falling from cash cow. Dog will not grow and cannot grow to question mark. And it's not that it's falling back from cash cow, meaning that it's an identified problem on its own from beginning. For a dog product, the growth rate is low, the market share is low, meaning that it's an identified problem not to be nursed. It's so probably don't need to nurse it because today is not good, tomorrow is not good. No present, no future. So that is dog for us. Market share low, growth rate low. Which one will we take care of? So not to waste your resources, not to be a poison in your portfolio, it's always advised that you remove dog from the product. It should be part of the product entity we have. When you identify those things, divest immediately. Limit the loss to the level you are. You try 1, 2, 3 times in the market, it did not go, PM, let it go. Don't go take care. I don't know whether I see existing now. Don't go take tomato paste. Igbo. What about Dangote noodles? I don't know whether I see existing. So mean that the one that doesn't pay anything, they will remove it immediately. Cannot be struggling competing where you won't gain anything. So that is the extent of recommendation of dog. Now, let's round it up with the word portfolio management. Don't forget that I said another name for BCG matrix or BCG analysis is portfolio management analysis. I will mention beginning that this matrix model is better for entities that have more than one product or more than one product line in their portfolio. So the portfolio management aspect is that in the beginning, the first one we call question mark or problem child. One of the questions we ask is, where are we going to see money to finance promotion and advertisement to gain acceptance in the market, to have a high market share too? The question has been answered now. The cash cow. Cash cow have surplus money. So the money that is in surplus should use to finance the problem child or question mark. So because when that one too grow with the financial from cash cow, it will move to be a star. Star will publicize the entity and carry along other products. So the money in star can maintain star. The money in star can maintain star. Where problem want to actually come sometimes can actually take from the cash cow too. Then because star will not continue to be as a product, it can fall back to be a cash cow. Falling off star is not always a disadvantage. It's not always a disadvantage. So you'll be producing cash again to finance the next problem child. In summary, any company that wants to be sustainable should have this set of products in their portfolio. A cash cow to finance problem child. A problem child that is going to grow to be a star. A star that communicate the company product to the world, and a cash cow that finances. So that is dog to be removed. Dog is a poison. So meaning that 3 of those 4 contracts are very, very important to any entity. 3 of those 4 are very, very important to the entire. So when you have more than a product or product line, BCG analysis matrix is very, very important. And that is the portfolio management aspect of it. In the literature you have there, we identified that there are some problems to people identify. No matter how good work or human is, there must always be a disadvantage or a problem as far as not created by God. So I think we identified 3 criticisms there as criticism or problem or disadvantages or weaknesses. They can call it any of the name of BCG. One of the one we identify is emphasis on market share, as if it's related to profitability. Share of the market is not directly proportional to profitability. It can be seen by gentle stride that when you sell more, you gain more. Like just we have in product life cycle. When you sell more, but at times circumstances, you can sell lesser and you have more products. We give an example in that particular literature you have with you, that material, that the number of cars that Pouch sell as a company and people company that produce limousine, they are very smaller in number compared to General Motors or Toyota or Honda. They are very small, but profit per head of those cars are very germane. So the sale of 10 cars in a year take precedence in profitability than sales of other that is up to 500. Because net cash flow will be higher, profitability will be higher. So that is one of the basic error that people identify in BCG. The other one is interpretation. Because it was between the line, interpretation, we see it as very dangerous. Why is it dangerous? In that quadrant, you have y-axis, x-axis. Those one in the middle is the one that divided the quadrant. And one of the characteristics of a style, you must be advertising, promoting. In cash cow, you don't need to advertise again. You don't need to do promotion again. That line that divides them is very thin. Let's assume the y-axis is number from 0 to 10, meaning that middle will be 5. If a product advertised when it is 5.1, 5.2 to 10, then at 4.9, you say you should not advertise. Has it gained the ground? No. So what other strategies mean that there should be a range and not a thin line in between those classes? There is just a thin line that divides them. They identify a range so that you will not misinterpret a star for a cash cow. A product that is just at 5.1 drop to 4.9 or move to 4.9. If you stop at that particular time, it might be off the shelf because there are emphasis or the factors. The scope for growth and satisfaction, successfulness of those products are linked to growth rate and market share. Growth rate and market share. Now, that's why they say that there are more factors. There are more factors that entities should look at for success of product or product line or service. For instance, very big brand name. For instance, location. For instance, those behind that entity, the promoters, the board of directors, who are behind them. This profiling and some other things like that. A typical example, you just made about some products sell in hotel and other places now. Even the one I made about my aunt, the same place, the same block, just a wall divided them, they have different prices of sales. So meaning that ambience is another thing that can actually make a company successful in a business. So meaning that it's not limited to growth rate and market share alone, and some other problem identify with them in those regards. Okay, let's pause here and let me do just small analysis on the question you are going to answer. I would have loved if you can do the table before we come to class. The example you go to, Mr. Brown go to post them later. So against this class, we can check on them. What I want us to do is to create 1, 2, 3, 4 columns. Like you have year -2, year -1, year 0, year 1, 2, year 1, and year 1, 2. That is 5. Then you create another column for those comparative years. You have in percentage. Then each of the products and their period, you invert them. Then the one below, the share of that particular product over the total sales in that industry, that particular time, then multiply by 100. If you can arrange those ones in those table or shell, if possible, anyway, you can conclude that one and do other 2 models so that you can finish the models and move to other part of the classes So that's the assumption anyway, that you can be able to do it. If otherwise, we are going to start together from beginning the next class. So if you have any question, let's identify so that we can trash them before we conclude for this class. If you have any question, let us identify so that we can trash them.
Okay, if you have question, okay, Basirat, go ahead. Hello, Basirat.
Oh, she has left?
No, she's actually.
Okay. You know, that's why people raise it, because your electronic hand, you will not bring it down. If your natural hand, it will be paining you now. Natural will pay you. If by the electronic hand, just put it like that. You can be there for the next 1 day.
Hello, sir. Good evening, sir. My name
Yes,
is
sir.
Maxwell.
Good evening. You're welcome,
Okay,
sir.
sir. So, please, I want to ask, is it that dog can never be resurrected to become a cash cow? Is there no way that a dog can be resurrected, sir?
There are ways, but those ways are dangerous. Those ways, in business, as financial manager, you look at what are you going to gain by spending. It's cost and benefits. Because there's no growth, there's no market share. You want to face 2 problems at a time. It's going to be difficult. Somebody does not have time, I want to write icon. So that is the major problem. Because it is easy for problem child to grow into star because the growth rate is already there. People are already accepting it in the market. It's gaining ground. It's only that it's not big. But for the dog, today is not good, the future is not good. Who want to spend like that on that particular product? Today is not good, tomorrow is not good. That's the feature of dog. That's why it cannot grow, or we don't want it to grow to problem child. And it cannot even come from dog, from cash cow. Cash cow still maintain big market share. It's only growth that drops. It has only one problem. For problem question mark, it's only one problem that it has to, because the growth is there, market share that is fall. So no financial manager who want to spend money without getting results. No one. That's why I say, okay, for effectiveness, you not forget. The analysis we are doing is that to have efficiency and effectiveness. You cannot have efficiency in finance when you are spending money without a future assurance for any results. That's why BCG advised that whenever you have a dog, pull out. Concentrate even when you have excess cash, concentrate on problem that have a future to grow. I don't know whether it's understandable like that.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Another one. So,
Any other question?
Good evening, sir.
Okay, finally, good evening.
finally, you see the hand.
Okay, so I want to ask, for the value chain analysis, can a company
Okay.
combine the primary and secondary activities together in the process of creating value? Can they combine the
Yes.
two or
Yes, you
just
can
one?
combine the two. Excellence. You can combine the two. Excellence. You can combine it to excellence. You can add primary product and secondary product. You'll be more effective than others. Be more effective. Like when we say the Transcorp invests very well capital in the environment, in technology. Somebody told me that I don't know whether they should attend Transcorp in Abuja. In less than 1 day, they can dismantle all those structure. They can dismantle it. They are detachable, as big and as tall as it is. And when you enter, you don't forget whether there's rain or sun outside, whether there's cold or hotness. And at the same time, the way they will accept this, they train their workers from before you get to reception. What do they call that? They call that porter. They go to take you to reception, from reception to the room service, everything. So combination of those two make it excellent for any company. It's good. But when you cannot do both of them, the one you are half ability to do them. That's why I say don't copy. It's an internal thing. It's part of internal analysis. Get what is best for you at a time and concentrate. Like in human nature, men are seen with strength. Women are praised with beauty. But when you see beauty, women that are beautiful, the same time have very good behavior, it will catch better than one that are just beautiful without good behavior. They are hard to eat, brilliance. I can. One of my sons to actually make joke of. I said they are going to pay a lot. Beautiful, brilliant, BSc, ACA again. Whoever want to marry that one should ready to pay money. So when you combine both of them together, what I'm saying is that jokingly is the best. If anything can do that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Another one?
Okay, thank you so much, sir, for the
welcome.
lecture so far. Thank you so much for always being there for us. Thank you so much, sir. We appreciate.
The pleasure is mine.
Thank you. So on this note, I think we have to go, right? So we'll meet tomorrow again for strategic financial management, and we shall continue with our lecture on project specific cost of capital. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you.